Hello and welcome back to my channel. Here we are with some more combination tarot for you tonight. So are you excited to see how we can combine those wonderful cup cards with some of the major arcana cards? A few keywords on the screen are going to be coming up tonight, and one of them is for the Seven of Cups, and I've put wishful thinking. And alongside that, I've chosen the Chariot, domestic life, home. So this pair comes up, and so we get domestic matters, wishful thinking. Any ideas what that might mean? This person has obviously got a lot of choice there. Wishful thinking, lots of different emotions regarding lots of different choices, perhaps. So I'm going to change that to maybe too many choices. So that's what it can be, which can result in home and emotional confusion. What could that be about? Or what about if it's daydreaming? Then what? So we've got too many choices, we've got wishful thinking, and we've got the home card, the Chariot. Could be about the home, but also don't forget the obvious, the Chariot is vehicles, things that go on the road. But for today, keep it nice and simple, it's about the home. So maybe they're daydreaming about having their own home. Maybe that whole point of what they're looking for in their daydreams is causing that emotional confusion. And that, of course, could be just pie in the sky, wishful thinking. Always look at your major arcana card because it's telling you what that Seven of Cups is linking to. So the desires, the wishful thinking, all of the things that we can actually suggest about that card are geared up around the domestic front because it's the fourth house in astrology. It's the Chariot card, which is all about our home, our domestic life, our family. It's about where we feel safe, home. Can you see that if you look at merging two cards together, you are building up a picture of what the tarot is telling you it's all about? I'm going to put some keywords on the screen. So another one that came up on the screen there that you could see was illusions and fantasies. So sometimes some person can actually be in a place where they are not doing anything. And if you're not doing anything, nothing's going to happen. People think that spirituality, of course, is all a link to manifest it. And if I think about it, and if I actually just say I want to write it down, that's not the case at all. We've got to be the ones that make it happen. Once this wishful thinking about our home life is actually put into action, then we're in a position, aren't we, to make something happen. First of all, we've got to pick one. So there's an awful lot of confusion going on here by the fact that the wishful thinking could be about too many different choices. Oh, I might do this, might do that with my home. I might go and buy one. I might rent. I might go on the road. And the Chariot and the home card, of course, could be having your home on the road. Don't forget that one. Living on the road. Lots of people do in many different ways. So it could be that. Too many choices. And unless this person is able to actually work out what they want from their home life and how they want it to be, it ends up just being that they're not focused. And that's really what the Seven of Cups can often mean in a reading, that there is too much scattered focus. Therefore, the emotions may end up as just being in the clouds, in the sky. Let's bring it into this one. So we've got the Empress here, and the Empress is all about growth. That's the keyword that I've picked for this while I'm giving you these tutorials. It can mean many things, of course, but if we look at the fact that what's the nurture and what's the growth doing, this person wants to grow, but they are probably looking at too many things. For example, if you want to nurture yourself, you might go, I'm going to swim, I'm going to go on my bike, I'm going to go Pilates, I'm going to do yoga, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to visualize, I'm going to actually do Reiki, I'm going to do crystals. Do you see what I mean? And we've all done it. I'm really going for it. because we look at things in respect of too many choices, too many things. And so we're not going to do anything if we are not focusing correctly in what it is that we want. It, of course, is to do with the fact that we're in the suit of emotions. And if we're in the suit of emotions, then it's about our desires, it's about what we feel, and what we feel might give us a reason to act. So we've got to have the emotion. If we're just acting without thinking or feeling, then we're reacting, which probably means that it's not going to do great things that you want it to do. Action's great. It needs to be thought about and it needs to be felt. Of course it does. So growth, if you want to grow, you need to pick one. You need to be able to focus and go, right, what I'm going to do is I look at the Empress and go, she's telling me to connect with nature. And that means be in it. And that means eat from it. And it means I probably emotionally will get an awful lot out of nature. I will probably respond to it emotionally well, simply because we've got the Empress, and the Empress is all about nature and what it provides. So it's probably something that's really simple and something that's probably general and easy to actually achieve. So maybe it's about eating more greens or eating more that is natural products instead of synthetic or processed. Start with one thing and do it well. That is really what this combination is saying, that they've not really looked at what they really want. And by having too many choices, the wishful thinking will probably result in giving up, and that's the problem, or not getting started. And we can all be guilty of that, of course. But if we can spot the pattern, it becomes easier. Think of the Seven of Cups of being emotionally overwhelmed. Let's say that you want to buy a coat and you go to a factory, and in the factory there are coats and there are jackets. And so you go, really, I want to be warm, but I also want to be dry, and I also want to be comfortable, and I don't want it to be heavy, and I want it to be fashionable. And if I want that, I'm probably going to go for a coat. So then you start looking at the coats, and then you start looking at how many different types of material there are. Maybe there's leather, maybe there's suede, and so on. And then we can't pick a colour. So we end up going, I just don't know what to do. Therefore, we end up probably walking away with nothing, having really been full of nothing but emotional confusion. And that's the Seven of Cups. It's been overwhelmed and having too much scattered focus instead of going, I am going to buy a coat for the winter. It needs to be waterproof and it needs to be warm and it needs to be long enough for me to be warm. So it won't be a jacket. Fashionable? I'll try. I'm sure I'll find something I like. You're going to be ruling out a lot if you want it to be waterproof. You're looking for something, but you also want it to be fashionable. It will be if you actually decide that you're going to go into that nice, trendy, sporty look that will keep you dry, keep you warm, do both for you. Grow, and we are not able to nurture ourselves and give ourselves what we want. There's a little example of our good old Empress. I dare say when we get the Tower that we can feel that there is lots and lots of emotional confusion. But that's usually, because this keyword, there's a lot of fast changes going on, resulting in a turmoil of emotional confusion. Therefore, there's fast changes coming in from the planet Mars, that's coming in from the Tower. How is it affecting our person? Everything's speedy. It's not always a bad card. It's actually a card of speed. Yes, it can make us feel unsettled. Yes, it can actually come and push us like a bolt of lightning out of the blue. Of course it can. But then we've got these fast changes have led to an awful lot of emotional confusion. And it could result in the fact that the changes are happening way too fast. Again, usually based on not being able to settle into a place where we are comfortable. hold your horses. What are your desires? What are your emotional desires? What's your goal? Pick one. Oh, I want them all. Probably not possible. You'll probably end up doing none of them very well, and probably none of them in the end because it's overwhelming. Or thinking that you are manifesting something, as I said, is not the same. You cannot just order something in. You've got to do your bit. It's not how the universe works. You can say, I am really focused. Let's say the first card we got was home. And Arcana, we can say, chose the fact that they want somewhere new to live. And as a result of wanting somewhere new to live, fast changes have come about. Now, what they're desiring seems to be possible because they're being pushed. Things are happening with them. Oh, sit back and do nothing. You've got to choose. Maybe you are being pushed to make a move. Maybe the universe is actually giving you a little helping hand along the way and said, how about you really focus on what it is you want? We'll do our best to help you in that. And so what we've got to do is look at our desires. And as I said, pick one. It's no good with the wishful thinking. Wishful thinking will result in that, just wishing and just thinking. What we've got to do is say, okay, maybe I do want that cup that's got the castle in it that represents home. I can't get it. Why? Because what has got to come first is the fact that I have got to desire that home. And in order to do that, I've got to be able to be a success. So that could be the fact that we've got to get that material security in the card on the right there, next to that castle, which is full of jewels representing our material wealth. So it's no good saying, oh, I know I'm going to manifest a house. I haven't got the money, but it will happen. You'll probably have a home, but it might be not the one that you desire. And it's important that you are able to look at things in a way that allows you, if the tower is pushing you, to go with your desires. What do you desire? I want a really nice home. So have you got the money? No, go for the material aspect, start working towards that goal. Once you've got that goal, you're in a position then to look at that home. All right? And remember, we said there are lots of different things the tower can represent, but a pair like this would be fast changes and causing a mass of emotional confusion. I would say it's that one that's more appropriate based on there are far too many choices. Just going to remind everybody about this. This is a podcast, so if you are interested in learning about the tarot and how to combine, you'll find them on my Tuesday Tarot Twist, which is where we're combining the card that we're learning with a major arcana and how it can change the effects of that reading. So you'll find it in the playlist there, starting from the full, working through Ace of Swords to Ten of Swords, and then bring us into the Cup family with the Ace of Cups. And as we are now at the Seven of Cups, and you'll find it there on playlist on Tarot with Emery, my YouTube channel. You won't find it anywhere else. If you're really serious about being a reader, clients have a lot of questions and they will want depth and they will want more and they will want who, what, where, when, how, and why. And those kind of timeline questions they've got to be accurate. You can't say, I've got the Seven of Cups, and that could be 7 years or 7 months, or could be this, could be that. If you are interested in learning about timeframes, I teach that on the tarot courses. We are just updating it, so now would be a time to really think about, in the next couple of weeks, you would get a complete revised tarot courses, and they've all been redone from beginners to the intermediate to the advanced. You can find out more about that on my website, and that's the only place you will find it. And here you get the tutorials too, whether you are doing the courses or you're not doing the courses. You are doing the courses, it gives you that support of how to keep growing and learning with the system that I'm giving you. Here is one of our old favorites, the lovely old Hermit. What does it mean if we get the Hermit and we get the 7 of Cups? As we have said, keeping it simple, let's go. We know that every card has multiple meanings, so it's not saying that only means this, but we have got to simplify things. So if we're giving some nice, easy keywords that actually really are probably the most important. So with the Hermit, go for the fact that it's all about the past. Go for the fact it's all about the fact that here is a wise person that looks elderly and has probably got a lot of wisdom based on past. If I got this pair, desires based on the past. We have desires that maybe are based on past previous experience. Desires based on the past, what could that be? Maybe we're not being fulfilled emotionally by the way life's treated us, and maybe we actually want to explore something different. And we don't know whether to focus on our persona, which is what the mask is all about. We don't know whether to go for the one with the shroud that's covered with the glowing aura around her, which is all to do with our spirituality. We don't know if we want to be led into temptation or the physical side of life. We are looking at the fact that we've got desires, or maybe we go, you know what, I always wanted to live in a castle, or I always wanted that home that was in the mountains or in the countryside, or, you know what, I wanted to live in the big city. Might be that, might be I want a bungalow, might be I want this and that and the other. Are we able to fulfill them? I don't know if I want to actually move here. I don't know if I want to work on my spirituality. I don't know if I want to actually succeed in life with progress. What is it that you actually want? There's so many choices, and we know that's what it's about. As from the past, do you need to do some wishful thinking? And when we actually respond to that, it's going to be a place and a space where you can focus based on previous experience from the past and being able to actualize and make these things happen. Sometimes wishes do come back. Sometimes we do get a chance a second time around, as it were. And that can often be the case. Many things do actually come about as a result of previous things. Let's take it to another card, Death card. Let's say it's transformation. And again, we are looking at making that transformation in our life, and we want to grow, and we want to shed old skins. And if we want to shed old skins, we are thinking, what do I wish for? What do I really want? It would be hard, wouldn't it, if somebody actually said, let's go through some transformation. What is it if you could really wish for something, what would that wish be? And we could look at that and go, I really want that castle. And I really want to be able to look at my spirituality. And my spirituality is something that is allowing me to emotionally feel fulfilled. So my wishful thinking comes about as a way of transformation. And that will probably come along with maybe exploring the second cup path, which is spirituality. It could be if you're going through a transformation, your spirituality has got to be looked at, and they are in a place and a space of being able to say they are going through that transformation. And so everything regarding the Death card does actually bring in the emotional aspect of this. Why? Because the Death card is Scorpio, and that is the same suit as the same element of water and the Cup family. So this will be something that's very intense because we have a double element of emotion going on here. All right, let's choose another card. Happiness, wishful thinking. How on earth can the Seven of Cups come up with the Sun card, and how would we read that? We're hoping and wishing for happiness, and we don't know how to find it. Shall I work on myself, like the first cup? Shall I work on my spirituality and go that way? Shall I work upon temptation, like the snake, the physical? Shall I work upon building castles in the sky? Shall I turn around and throw money at it? Shall I look at, I need to be qualified in something and have some sort of status, i.e. some sort of victory that qualifies me to have happiness? People do say that. Oh gosh, I don't know the first thing about this, that and the other. It doesn't matter. Happiness doesn't always depend upon whether or not you're qualified. And then of course we've got the wyvern, which is probably sending chills and making us go, I don't know, what shall I do about this here? And if I make that choice, that's to do nothing. I'm feeling I want to do nothing. So one of the choices is to do nothing, of course. But if we want happiness, and we want vitality, and we want to be the source of who we are as a person, it probably depends upon what it is that would provide that happiness. Where are you most happy? And that could be, you know what, it's when I'm around nature. That's where you turn around and go and find your happiness there. And you will probably find like-minded people who also feel happy in that, who are on the same wavelength as you. So if you're looking for happiness in life, to connect with like-minded people, you've got to think what makes you happy. And if you're on the same vibe, you'll find your community there or a special person there. It's what makes you happy, what makes you so carefree that you feel a sense of gentleness, of transparency, of innocence, of feeling as if there's no sense of pressure or responsibility, like the child on the white horse, a sense of purity, a sense of peace, as it were. So there's all that goes on with that particular card. What about if we change that to meaning this, that our happiness is just built on daydreams? What could that be telling us? That the person is probably, or yourself, if you're reading for yourself, this power is actually saying, you know what, you've got to choose something that makes you happy and stop building your happiness on daydreaming, because you're not fulfilling anything right now. Daydreams come true only if you actually do something. Even children are growing and learning minute by minute. More growth and more learning when we are children or infants than at any other time. Mum could go to work and find that her little Johnny or Jill, whatever, at nursery comes back and has completely gone through a new cycle and is now able to maybe draw or write a word or do something that mum missed because little Johnny or Jill was actually in education and mum was doing her thing of working. Can't be with them all the time. The progress, it's got to be that we allow for growth. And the only way that we can do that is to not be in our daydreams. Daydreams are good, providing we actually do something. And a lot of people are out there, I know, that say, all you've got to do is write it down and it'll come to you. Really? It's a bit more than that. Yes, starts with that. Then there's more. And that's what we're focusing on. We've got to make sure that there are not, as I said, with the Seven of Cups, too many choices. We have got the Strength card for a nice keyword. I chose courage. And of course, we've got the many keywords that the Seven of Cups can mean. An emotional card feeding the energy from that and adding to strength. We're being told there's something here of courage and strength. In what way? Seven of Cups. This person needs the courage to accept there are many choices and they need the courage to be able to make one. So they're probably feeling vulnerable. They may probably need some direction. So there's nothing wrong with wishful thinking at all, but we need to be able to go beyond wishful thinking and to get out of that emotional scatter and that emotional confusion. And so we need the courage to feel that if we are in control of making a choice, we're vulnerable, aren't we? But in making that choice, because it's in our control, we need the courage to make the right one. A lot of people say, oh, it's out of my control, I'm so worried. There's not much you can do if it's out of your control. But if you are in control, then there are things that you need to focus on to be able to say, what is it that I really desire? And give me the courage to be able to make that choice wisely, based on having the strength to do the strength in this case. What kind of strength? Because of the card we've got on the right, the suit is telling you the kind of strength that's needed. Emotional. If that was a sword, it would be you need the mental strength. If that was a wand, you would need the physical strength. If that was a pentacle, pentacles are combinations of all of the elements. So it would need to be grounded in reality of something that was tangible, something that had been worked on, and to have the courage to take that forward. Pentacle is the merge of the thoughts, the emotions, the actions that results in the product and the manifestation. And when you are looking at your tarot cards from Ace to 10, you are looking at where you are in that journey. If we look at, we started off with the Ace of Cups, brand new beginning, and then we went into the Two of Cups, which was that connection. So we were connected and we were in a connection with someone that was on the same wavelength emotionally as us. And then we had the joy in the Three of Cups of being able to celebrate that we're all like-minded and we're having a wonderful old party and a wonderful old time to celebrate and so on. And then we went through the apathy and the grieving and then, of course, the nostalgia and now the confusion. If you look at your suit, there are stages in a journey, and you might go, oh, have you got to go through them in like numerical or 1 and 2? No, that's not what life throws at us. It might be a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But if you were to look at how it actually throws it at you, it's usually very unexpected. And that's why life is so crazy and interesting, isn't it? It throws us something and we go, gosh, am I going to catch this? Or do I actually want to develop and learn a lesson from it and go through a period of growth? So a person, if they were looking at this combination to someone, they need the courage to go with their desires. And if you desire something, surely they'll get on with that. They need the emotional security of actually feeling. It's a big decision. What you're wishing for is very scary. There is a position in my spread called hopes, wishes, and fears. And one position tells us about hopes, wishes, and fears. And you might go, why's it all together? Because what somebody is desiring, hoping, and wishing for, they are also very fearful that is not going to happen. So it can feel very frightening, and they are fearful, and it probably causes masses of emotional confusion into the bargain. That is why, and the Seven of Cups is very much that. I'm really hoping that I'm going to get one of these. Which one will I choose? But also fearful, we're going to make the wrong choice. If he makes the choice and has the courage to go for the spiritual journey, it will be life-changing, because the spiritual path will probably bring an abundance of all of it. But he's not aware of that yet. And that's why he is a silhouette in this card. I'm going to look at the World card. And the World card keyword for that we've chosen for our tutorial is completion. A nice way of looking at that wreath is we can see a wreath in the Seven of Cups. Success. Wreaths are symbolic of, if you look at victories and maybe the passing of exams or the winning of a competition, of coming first, claiming your prize for a job well done in some way. Completion, the world is about completion, but it's also about the cycle of life and how it has formed completion with those four figures that we see on the edges there in the four corners of the world card. And if you want to know more about that, I teach that in the courses, or I touched on it briefly here on the world card that will be in the pod. You'll find that tutorial, but it's not the same as what you'll get on the courses. Believe me, there's so much more. I should know I've just recently redone them all. So what is your desire? You've completed something. Life is a cycle. So if you got this for somebody, you would be looking at the fact that there has been a completion of a cycle and a new emotional cycle is about to happen. But our figure, that represents the person who we are giving the reading to, doesn't know what they want. And when we don't know what we want, life has a way of maybe causing us to feel that we can take our time when we probably can't. So if we don't make the right choice, all choices could be taken away. Or if we don't go for that property, then what's the chances that it's going to be available next time? Maybe it was in the right location, maybe it was in the right neighborhood, maybe it was close to work, maybe it was totally convenient, maybe it was affordable or a bargain. And if we think about it too much, someone else will make that choice, and that choice for that particular thing will no longer be available. So you say, oh, I can get another one. Maybe the location won't be as good, maybe the price won't be so good. And you know this. We all know this. And that is why it becomes a burden. And the burden of choice is sometimes harder than when the tower throws something at us and causes us to grabs us by the pants and says, I'm pushing you. Let's see what you do now. It's a bit like planet Pluto that will turn around and make some really, really big changes that don't just affect you today. They can have a lasting impact. And depending on how much you work with that, it's how much you get rewards. Same in life. If you do the work, you'll get the rewards. If you missed out this time, you'll get your chance. Maybe the universe actually encouraged your path to be slightly different to what you were anticipating and give you even more choice. As one door opens, it's not about another closing. It's almost a case of life if you look at tarot. It is cycles and cycles of things that keep presenting themselves to you. That choice becomes, you open a door only to find there's another 10. And if you open one of those 10 doors, there's another 10 doors. So you shut that and look at the next one, and the second door has got 20 more doors. And it's, which one shall I choose? Overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. If you are a spiritual person and you know yourself quite well, it helps because you can connect to you, to what is your desire, so that it doesn't become wishful thinking. It becomes a desire emotionally to take action, to make something manifest that is real and tangible, just like the Pentacles will be. If you were doing past, present, and future with pairs, why not try and find something else of a spread for you to encourage yourself to dig deeper? If you are looking at the fact that you do oracle cards and you use tarot card as clarification, then maybe start using your tarot cards and use the oracle card for clarification. Switch it up a gear, swap it about, change it, moderate it, add a little, take a little away. Tarot is just the map of how things are at the moment, and based on the background effects and the current effects of what's going on, if you're to carry on with those current effects and those background effects, what's the likelihood of what you want based on now? And what could you do if you were to change it or drop out or turn around and look at a complete new path? It's like a forecast. It's based on the current weather, what's happening in my life. And so that's why tarot is really useful. But we must take accountability and responsibility. And I say that simply because we were doing the Seven of Cups, which is about being in la land and not making a choice that is all based on wishful thinking, scattered focus, not being able to make a decision for toffee, and then stay constantly. It does you no good whatsoever. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you on Thursday with the next card in the emotional suit of cups or water element, where we are looking at the Eight of Cups. So do join me for that, same time, Thursday at 5. Until next time, do have a wonderful week. Bye for now.